Hello SGD, Sacred Geometry Decoded, and I'll be doing part 2 and looking at the rather unique, interesting properties of a pentagram. Link in the description how to draw one by compass and straight edge, and you'd actually get a perfect pentagram, therefore you get the pentagon, and therefore you get the perfect phi numbers. Now, even the way this construction works, you might get an idea that, it's very simple construction. It actually lays out all the points for you, built off the vesica, but because the vesica and the hexagon will be coming into this. So mathematically, geometry, astronomy and music, there are lovely connections here in the pentagram. It also has, in a mystical, spiritual sense, very important emblem. But so that's the using the 5 points divided into 360, so therefore in 72, 144, 216, 288 degrees. Covered those in earlier part, all the other properties that go into it, especially through weights and measures, and the quadrivium. But touched on 5/6, and very interesting construction when you, particularly if you do like the edge length of a pentagon is the same as the edge length as the hexagon. There's some really cool stuff that emerges from that. But both the pentagram and the hexagram, it's like on the Israeli flag, very ancient design. But these connections, especially through esoteric groups, Masons for instance, just an idea that 6/5 and how it's cool. But so the hexagon itself comes from the seed of life. So if you draw one circle and then you draw another circle with a center on the edge, each circle will mark the next circle, and you just follow that around till you got 7 circles in total. But it creates a perfect hexagon. That's why bees use it. It's just the most efficient use of just so much to be said about the power of and the importance of the hexagon. But from this seed of life, which is this ancient emblem, you can find ancient Egypt in the Osiron, across the world. It's a fundamental of geometry. So we've just overlaid that there, but we'll have a look at the seed of life and the hexagon as it emerges. So you can already, just by cutting through, you've now divided the circle into 6 sections, and then you just do a series of equilateral triangles. They overlap, and you create the hexagram, the 6-pointed star. Now each trough, let's call it, between now gives you, and this actually matches up. So where these circles intersect, they cut through and they'll divide the circle up into 12 units, and you just add every second one to get an equilateral triangle. Again, another equilateral triangle. Now you've got a 12-pointed star, a dodecagram, I suppose you would call it. And well, time as a reference to 12, this is a nice way to draw a clock, and it's now divided 360 degrees divided by 12 is 30 degrees, which is a nice reference to the pendulum. But anyway, but also it's like the 12 signs of the zodiac, the 12 months of the year. Precession also comes into this, and you also get from that design, you get the basics for the Maltese cross, and also now between each one of these troughs, you can then further divide it down into half. You can actually carry this on to infinity, but you divide it into half again, and so now we have 24 sections, and you skip every one, and then 3, and then on the 4th you add another equilateral triangle, another, and another. Now you have this 24-pointed star, which has that. Of course, it has the Knights Malta cross in there, but you also have this this variation, this Templar cross, and each one of these points, 24 divided by 360, gives you 15 degrees. So what we've done now is we've cut this circle up into 15 degrees, beginning with the 6-pointed star, the hexagram, 5 and the 6. So now I've overlaid it, and what I've done is got the point there on 0. But first consider back to these numbers, so 70 Harshad numbers, and how they're divisible by so 72, 7 plus 2 equals 9, 72 divided by 9, etc. Now they all add up to 9, except for 288, that adds up to 18. It's still a Hashad number, but it's a super cool number in 4 dimensions, but it's separated on that aspect, so that sort of points it out as an importance. So now if we just run one of those centers and use 288 instead of 360 as the main axis, and now because we've divided, everything gets divided into 15 degrees, which makes this 270 degrees. Now this construction is just a series of overlaying equilateral triangles. So create an equilateral triangle. We can just use, again, this as the template. And what do we get? 33 and 153. So 33 degrees plus 1/3 of 360, or 120 degrees. That 33 plus 120 is 153. 153 plus 270 plus 120 is 273. So the pentagram, the 6/5 design, and how it leads to this. Now, Maltese crossed, Templar, and even this variation which I've seen, and until I did this overlay I didn't quite realise exactly, yeah, that's what's going on there. We also have the 12 signs. You could do many other things, but now this 33, 153, 273, and I'll go more into that in the next episode, but like this really is marks something out's going on here, because just to begin with, in binary, which goes back to Leibniz, but only was really found a valuable practical application in the computer age, binary code, ones and zeros. They're all palindromes, like a radar or race car. It's the same backwards as forwards, and 33 in itself is a palindrome, but in binary 1 0 0 0 1, sorry, 1 0 0 0 0 1. 153 in binary 1 0 0 1 1 0 0 1. But palindrome again, back as the same backwards as forward, and in binary so is 273, 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1. That's not this is just the intro to it. There's all these will blend back with the pentagram numbers, which have all that astronomy and mystical connections to the occult teachings and the esoteric traditions, and well, just so many other so many other aspects. And yeah, the clock and the compass and this geometry which emerges from it, and I'll do that in part 3, because already if you've got if you're familiar, 33 and 153 should stand out. 273 is this really overlooked but super powerful number in regards to metrology and just that, again, the esoteric traditions. So hope you enjoyed and got a kick out of that one. Again, it's just, it's all compass and straight edge geometry. It's it might look complex, but as it's, from simplicity, complexity emerges, and it's just, this is all, if you just run it backwards, especially this design here, it really just begins with a series of 7 circles to create that seed of life, which is nothing more than a vesica, which is just repeated around and around and around. And yeah, from there you get the clock and so many other aspects. Now it's freezing up a bit, but yep, from the seed of life, from the pentagram, 6s and 5s, and all those lovely connections that run with it. Okay, computer's running a bit slow, but 72, 144, 216, 288, and of course a 360 degree compass, and the importance of this in so many aspects. So with that, hope you enjoyed and have a good one.